I fully realize I look ridiculous right now. I'm giving off like Tin Man realness. My face is so reflective. It's like I keep catching it in the viewfinder. I'm currently reading Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton and I am loving it. Like, the writing is so good. I mentioned in my TBR that this book is about this village that every 7 years they have to sacrifice the town's best boy to the devil so that the next 7 years will be very prosperous in this town. And then at the start of this book, things start to go wrong in town and they need to sacrifice a boy early. It's really good. I'm about 80 pages into it, although I have run into a slight problem. The book is great and I really love it, but there's no chapters. My face is starting to get a little tight. I need to speed this up. Basically, there's just page breaks. I don't know if you can see. There's just page breaks in between different points of views. There are also different parts, and in between those, there aren't any chapters. And I have this problem when I'm reading where I cannot just stop in the middle of something. I have to get to the end of a chapter or the end of a part or at the end of whatever's happening. So since there are no chapters in here, I keep like stressing about where I'm gonna stop, and I keep like saying, okay, I'm just gonna read till the next page break, and then I'll get to the next page break and I'm like, maybe it's just one more page break. So that's my only issue. And it's not even a real issue. But yeah, overall I'm really loving it. The writing is so good. Also, I'm kind of annoyed. I didn't realize this, but there's supposed to be like a indent on the front cover of this tree. And I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see it. Like, you can tell they attempted to press it, but it didn't take. I would try to exchange this for a different copy, but like, I don't care that much. So it's not a big deal. I just think it's funny. This kind of symbolizes my life. Like, the attempt was made, but it didn't exactly turn out the way it was supposed to. So I'm willing to live with it. Now I'm gonna go take this face mask off because it's getting super tight. Okay, bye. Hey guys, Riley from the future. So I filmed myself talking about Strange Grace right after I read it, and I was just going through and editing some of that footage, and I realized that I was kind of an inarticulate mess. And like, so it's been like a week. I've had some time to take this book in. I actually wrote out a written review, so I have all my thoughts gathered, and I thought I would just come back and refilm this little section because I really want to do this book justice because it was just so incredible. Basically, this book is just such a me book. Like, if you took all the stuff that I love and you smashed it all into a book, this would be the result. It's a fantasy, it's super spooky, it's a dark fairy tale, there's witches, and pretty much everyone in this book is queer. And it really reminded me of one of my favorite horror movies, The Witch. They both had this really similar, like, eerie, quiet vibe. I mean, plot-wise, not much happened in this book, but there was just this entire sense of, like, dread throughout the whole thing, where you could feel this, like, evil energy just like lurking somewhere. So basically, every 7 years when the slaughter moon rises, citizens of Three Graces must send their chosen saint into the devil's forest to be sacrificed to the devil that lives within. So we're following three main characters, all of whom I love with my whole heart. One of them is Merwin, who is the daughter of the current Grace Witch, and her father was a previous saint who was sacrificed to the devil's forest before she was born. Then we have Arthur, whose mother raised him for the first 7 years of his life to be a girl so that he would never be sacrificed to the forest. And now Arthur is determined to prove himself to be the best boy. And then we have Rain, who is the current best boy and has known his whole life that his destiny lies within the forest. Now, I loved all these characters as individuals. They were all super different and interesting. But the real amazing part of them is that as a trio, they were incredible. They're in a polyamorous relationship with each other, and they all have a really different and interesting dynamic with each other. They were so wholly connected that one could not exist without the other two. They really came as like a package deal. They were a trio, nothing was splitting them up. They kind of filled out a spectrum. Arthur is very angry and like he hates everyone. Rain is like this perfect little cinnamon roll. He's amazing and innocent. And then Merwin kind of falls somewhere in the middle, and they really do balance each other out. Now, the fourth main character, and probably my favorite part of this book, is the forest itself. The setting really came to life, and it felt like a living, breathing character within the story. So the characters were amazing, the setting was amazing, but the like real shining star was the writing. It totally stole my heart. I highlighted so many different quotes because there was just like so beautiful. Like I said, I rated this 5 stars. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to read more of Tessa Gratton's books. I have The Queens of Innis Lear by her, which I'm actually going to buddy read next month, and I am so excited. I can't wait to read that. So now I have this package that I got from Penguin, and I think I know what's in it. I started to open it and then I was like, wait, I think what is in this is a book that was on my TBR. I was right. It's Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. So I think I'm gonna start reading this right now. This is a middle grade book that just came out like a couple days ago, I think. It's about an 11-year-old girl named Ollie who really loves books and reading, and one day she sees this lady trying to throw this book into a lake. So she goes and takes the book from her. She goes home and she reads it, and it's like this super creepy story. Then she's on a field trip for school, and she ends up seeing the graves of the people in the book that she's reading, and after that like really weird creepy stuff starts happening to her. I feel like I can finish this before tonight is over. Let's see, what time is it? 8:15. Oh shit, my phone's been on silent and I have a ton of missed messages. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know who this is, but I just see a comment that I just got on my last video, and it says, every time you upload I get a little bit more gay. I think that might be the best compliment I've ever gotten in my life. Oh my god, I have been waiting forever to read this. I'm so excited.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get started for you?
Hi, can I get a grande iced maple pecan latte?
Of course. Anything else?
And then a cheese Danish warmed up.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, that'll be $8.34 at the window. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, I just went to Starbucks and I got a drink I've never had before. It's called a maple pecan latte. So let's try it. Ooh, I really like this. Yeah, I love that. I wanted to update you guys on my reading. Last night I finished Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, and I think I'm giving it 4 stars. I really liked it. If there's like a scale of middle grade, it definitely read like a younger middle grade, but it was good. It was basically, if you've ever seen the movie Jeepers Creepers 2, which I feel like not a lot of people would have seen that because they're not great movies. This book was kind of like that. Basically, I mentioned that she like takes this book and reads it, and then they're on a school trip and she finds the graves of the people in the book. Well, then the school bus on the way back from the field trip breaks down in the middle of nowhere, and crazy stuff starts happening. And that was basically like what happened in Jeepers Creepers 2. And then after I finished that, I read The Lost Sisters, which is the novella that goes in between Cruel Prince and Wicked King. And this was basically a letter from Taryn to Jude explaining her side of the events in The Cruel Prince. And I really liked this. It was just so good. Like, Holly Black's writing is just incredible, and there were so many quotable lines from this. Like, I was reading the ebook and I was just highlighting everything. It was really great. I gave it 5 stars. I think it is a must read if you're reading the series. I know that like a lot of novellas, they're kind of like, you don't need to read them, but I think this one really helps give a lot of insight into Taryn and Locke, even though I still fucking hate Taryn. She's the worst. I'm actually glad that I still dislike her because I was worried that reading this novella would kind of make me sympathize with her. But no. Now I'm reading Contagion by Erin Bowman, and I mentioned in my TBR that this is a sci-fi horror about this crew who goes missing, so a search and rescue team goes to find them, and they get there and everybody's dead. And I like it so far. I think that 2 of the characters are queer, and possibly there's gonna be a female-female relationship, so that's making me excited. But now I'm gonna get out of here because I'm in a CVS parking lot and it's getting super crowded all of a sudden, and people are looking at me like I'm crazy. Hey guys, so it's like super late and I just got home. I'm a little buzzed. I got a package earlier. It's from Penguin, and I did request some stuff. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's a couple arcs. The first one is The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. This sounded so cool. It is basically a fantasy book in a world inspired by 19th century Italy, and it follows a gender fluid shapeshifter, and I believe there's a queer romance. The next one I got, I don't like the cover, I'm gonna be honest, but it is The Afterword by E.K. Johnson. And the premise of this sounds amazing. In this world, the evil was defeated by this group of female knights. They defeated the evil, and it's now like a year later, and it turns out that maybe they didn't actually defeat the evil like they thought they did. And it follows a woman who before she was a pickpocket, but now she is too famous because she saved the world, so she can't be a pickpocket anymore. And then the other girl was an apprentice knight, and now that their quest is over, she has to find a husband so that her bride price can pay for her knight training loans. And so yeah, they realized they didn't actually save the world. And also, I think they're queer because it says, to make matters worse, in the year Ulsa and Calanthe spent together on the quest, the pickpocket and the knight in training have become much more than just fellow travelers on an epic quest. This girl on the cover, I don't know if you guys can see, but she looks like Sansa Stark. Like, that looks like Sophie Turner. I think this is queer female knights. I'm gonna just put that out there. I don't know 100% though that they're queer. The synopsis does sound like that. This comes out in October, this month. This comes out October 30th. This one doesn't come out until February of next year. Like, I really want to read this now. Okay, and then the third book comes out, it says October, but I'm pretty sure it was moved to November. It's Kingdom of the Blazing Phoenix by Julie C. Dow, which is the sequel. It's the sequel to Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, which I loved. I am a little bit hesitant about this because it doesn't follow the same character. Also, if you don't know, this is an Asian-inspired fantasy following the evil queen of Snow White, and this is like her rise to being evil. And then this book follows the Snow White character, so I'm a little hesitant because I loved this character so much. I forgot what her name was, but she was like just so unapologetically badass. She was allowed to be selfish. Because I feel like a lot of times in young adult, the like female main character will usually end up sacrificing herself for people that she loves, which is fine. But this character was the type to be like, fuck that. I want to survive. Screw everybody else. And I really liked that. So I am hesitant about this one. Like, I don't want to see my queen get dethroned or like, you know, like I want her to win. But I feel like since it's from the Snow White character's point of view that she's not gonna win. So this comes out, I'm pretty sure it comes out in November, although this says October. I'm gonna read both of these really soon. And honestly, I'm probably gonna end up reading this soon too, even though it comes out in February, but because this just sounds like everything that I want. Okay. So that was my drunk unboxing. I need to get out of here. Okay, bye. Okay, so I put up a poll earlier today on my Instagram story asking which book I should read next. Both of them are sequels to books I've already read. So I asked you guys to choose between Vengeful, which is the sequel to Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and Escaping from Houdini, which is the third book to Stalking Jack the Ripper, which I actually thought this was going to be a trilogy, but apparently there's going to be a fourth book. I haven't looked at it at all, so I have no idea what's winning. I kind of feel like I'm in the mood to read Vengeful, but if the other one wins, I would be fine with that too. Alright, let's see. Let me just open. Oh, my story expired. Hold on, let me find it. Here we go. Ooh, okay. Okay, cool. Wow. That wasn't that close. So Vengeful got 67% and Escaping from Houdini only got 33%. So looks like I'm gonna start Vengeful right now. So I just finished Vengeful and oh my god, I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. I think I may have liked it more than the first book. I'll just kind of give like my quick thoughts about it because I don't want to be too spoilery, but I really loved that we got more backstory on Eli's character in this book because in Vicious, we really don't learn anything about him, and this book, we learn pretty much like his whole backstory, and I kind of don't hate him anymore. He's a really interesting character. I don't know, he's like just fascinating, honestly. And there are two main characters who are new to this book. They're both women. One of them is named Marcella and the other one is June, and holy crap, they were both incredible. I'm so glad that they were added to this cast of characters, and their powers were so cool, specifically June's. Like, if I were to have some sort of superpower, I think June's would be the one that I would want to have. It was just, like, so cool. I don't want to spoil what they were because they're both powers that, like, you learn about. I was pretty satisfied with the way that it ended. I don't know if there's gonna be another book. It left, like, it wrapped up some of the storylines and left other ones a little bit open, kind of like Vicious did. So I don't know if this is gonna be something that is revisited. There was, like, an epilogue that kind of leads me to believe there's going to be another book in this world, but more following a different character who I'm not gonna say. I would be so into that. I definitely hope this isn't the last that we're seeing of this world because I just love it so much. I think now I'm going to read Escaping from Houdini, which is one of the last books on my October TBR. And I am so excited to read this. I loved the first two books. This one just sounds so good. It takes place on a cruise ship and there's like a circus. So, I just read Escaping from Houdini by Carrie Maniscalco. Oh boy. So this is the third book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. It is a series, as I have learned. Let's take this hood off. I look like I'm about to go to a basketball game or something. Where to even start with this book? Because it was a hot mess. This is gonna be spoilery because it's the third book in a series. I really can't talk about my thoughts without being a little bit spoilery. So if you at all don't want to be spoiled for this book, just skip this part. I will put a timestamp in the description for when I'm done talking about it and you can just go and skip all this. But if you want to know why I rated it 1 star, stick around because we're gonna get into it. Oh my god. The main character, Audrey Rose, is so goddamn annoying. So at the start of this book, we pick off where basically like right after the second book ends. Again, I'm spoiling, but at the end of that book, Audrey and Thomas pretty much become engaged. He asks her to marry him. She says yes. Boom, bada bing, they're engaged. So at the start of this book, Thomas really wants to get her father's blessing and they're talking about like when they want to get married. Audrey's like, let's just like elope. Like they're super into the idea of getting married. Everything's great. Then this stupid hoe, Audrey Rose, meets a guy on the ship who is part of the circus. His name is something really long and weird like Metasophilis or Metropolicus? Mephistopheles? I can't pronounce this, I'm sorry. Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles? I think that's it. That's his name. For real. It never gets shortened. That's his name the entire book. She meets this guy and like instantly she wants to bang this dude. She's like, holy shit, this guy is hot. I like him. So then there's a couple murders that happen and Audrey Rose and Metalophilus come up with this weird bargain that I still don't, it still makes no sense, where he's gonna teach her the art of sleight of hand to help her get better deception skills, and in return she's gonna like help him during his performance and make people think that there's something going on between them. But the only rule is that she's not allowed to tell anybody. It didn't make sense. Honestly, this whole bargain was just a way to get them together. The whole book, they spend time sneaking off together. All the while, our beloved Thomas, her fiance, is like just kind of moping around like, I hope Audrey Rose talks to me today. And he like straight up tells her, he's like, yo, I don't care what you're doing. Just be honest with me. Like, don't lie to me. Just tell me what's going on with you and Metalophilus. And this dumb bitch has the gall to say to him, you just really need to trust me. But you're lying to him. You're sneaking around with this dude, lying to your fiance, and then when he point blank asks you about it, you totally gaslight him. And you're like, nothing is going on. You need to just trust me. Don't be jealous. Not only are her and Metalophilus Clauseless sneaking around together and lying, they kiss. They kiss on multiple occasions. They kiss on their mouths to each other. Mouth to mouth. Kissing. I am 100% for women in books playing the field. I love it. Play the field. Get as many dudes or girls or people as you want. But that's what you do before you get engaged. We had 2 books where Thomas and Audrey Rose weren't a solidified couple, where she could have gotten as much dick as she wanted. But in this book, she's engaged to be married. And now is when she decides she may want somebody else. It made no sense. And this Metalophilus dude wasn't even interesting. First of all, he wore a mask the entire book. Like, what is this? A Court of Thorns and Roses? Come on. I don't understand what is with YA and wearing masks. Masks aren't cute. Who thinks a mask is cute? Towards the end of the book, Audrey finally like fesses up a little bit and tells Thomas that she has feelings for Metalophilus. Thomas is like so heartbroken, but he is amazing and I love him, and he was basically like, you know what? You do what you gotta do. I love you, but I'll wait for you to figure this out. And then this dumb hoe goes, and not 2 minutes later is kissing this Metalophilus guy again. What I loved about the first two books is that Audrey Rose and Thomas always work together to solve these murders. And they have a really great dynamic together, and it's always super fun to see them working through these mysteries and figuring them out together. There's very minimal interaction between Audrey Rose and Thomas. They barely worked on this mystery together. She was pretty much with Metalophilus the entire book. And her excuse for spending so much time with him is that he's helping her solve the mystery. But guess who doesn't ever solve the mystery? Audrey fucking Rose. She never solves the murder. In the like climactic scene, she accuses the person that she suspects of being the murderer, and she's wrong. And then the real murderer pops up and is like, bam bitch, gotcha. So she did all that. She broke Thomas's heart. She cheated on him, lied to him, and didn't even end up solving the murder. So at the end of the book, after the murderer has been revealed and everything is wrapping up, Thomas does the most amazing thing ever, and he fucking dumps Audrey. No, he doesn't really dump her because this is like the 1800s. He basically was just like, I think we need some space. I'm gonna leave, you do your thing, we'll see each other sometime. And I was like, okay, you know what? This book sucked, the love triangle sucked, the murder mystery sucked, Audrey Rose sucked, Metalophilus sucked, but I can get behind this ending. If we had to go through all of that just to get this amazing moment where Thomas like puts his foot down and Audrey Rose realizes she messed up, I was cool with it. Because I was like, okay, it's gonna end like this. The next book will be her working to gain his trust back and getting him to forgive her. And then the series will end with them finally like getting back together. And I loved it. Nope. There's an epilogue. The epilogue takes place literally 5 minutes after the last chapter where Thomas dumps her. I had so much hope for Thomas. This little whipped boy comes crawling back and is like, LOL, JK, I love you. Let's get married. And then Audrey Rose says yes, and the book ends. You want to know what never happened? She never apologized. She never even told him that she cheated. Oh my god. She never even told him that her and Metalophilus kissed multiple times. He has no idea. He just thinks that she maybe kind of had feelings for him and was confused, but he has absolutely no idea that they kissed many times and that it was to the extent that it was. Like, oh, seriously? I'm so upset. I loved the first two books in the series. I'm just so disappointed. I was not expecting this at all. This was one of my most anticipated books this year, and I'm just shocked at how bad it was. Let me know if you've read it and if you have a different opinion. I know that the fans of this series are like hardcore, ride or die, so let me know what you guys think of it. So this is where I'm going to end the vlog. I should have my Spookathon TBR up tomorrow, and then I'm going to probably, cross my fingers, daily vlog for Spookathon. I'm so excited, but I don't think I'm gonna do any more reading before Spookathon starts because I kind of want a couple of like chill days where I'm not reading before I go into like hardcore readathon mode. That's the end of this vlog. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!